my last video, my hair was all mushed down. So mushed. It's smushed down. But this video is, I saw someone post about how do you combat loneliness. So this is for people who may feel lonely. And I know a lot of people may say, oh, well, you're married, you have kids, and just hear me out. Because at one point in time, I was a girl who, I didn't go to college with all of my friends. I went to college in the middle of nowhere. I literally knew not one person. This place, being a freshman in college, my family, my family, close family was way in Louisiana. I was in Ohio. And then the family that I did have in Ohio, they were like almost 2 hours away. So I was literally on campus by myself, not knowing anybody at all. So I'm coming from that place of experience. And here we go. So this is for the person who feels lonely. Number one, what I want to tell you is don't just jump into these relationships with people, or don't look for love, attention, and affection from people just because you are lonely. Loneliness is temporary, and in some cases a choice. So I learned, get around people who are like-minded, people who have positive energy, people who actually want to be around you. And learn to recognize when it's time to let some people go. Loneliness can be viewed in so many different ways, and hopefully in this video I'll remember to touch on everything. But sometimes when you're lonely, you're meant to connect with people that you're not making connections with. It's meant for you to step out. How are you going to find other people and discover them, and they discover you, if you're just in the house, if you're just accustomed to being around the people that you are used to being around? Sometimes your environment shifts and changes, and we need to be around not the people who we grew up with, not our families. Sometimes your support, your love, and what you need, the love that you need to keep going on and to survive, may not come from blood or people you know or have known your entire life. It may come from people who are new, people who had to grow just like you had to grow, or who are already where you are trying to get to, or where you're trying to go. Growth and comfort doesn't always come from familiar places. Okay? So also too, sometimes when we are lonely, God needs to get us, or whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, needs to get our attention. There's something that we're not doing. There's a direction that we're not going in that we need to go in. So the only way to get your attention is to isolate you from all of these things that are distracting you. So what we need to do is make sure that we are, and you may see me looking off because people are looking at me. I'm at the post office, first of all. So, and I don't mean like I'm off. I'm like in front of the post office. So people are walking out and they're like looking at me, talking to this camera, and they're giving me the crazy face. So I am trying to learn to still talk while people are looking at me. So I'm trying to master that. So just bear with me. And you know I show you the rawness of the video. So I'm going to play all of this. But we need to evaluate our surroundings and the people who we've associated with. Sometimes we've outgrown things. Sometimes people have outgrown us. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you understand the cycle of life and how life works and how it is, some things will be removed. Some people will be removed. Not everything is forever. Nothing is forever here. Everything is temporary. Everybody has a season. Everything has its time. And you have to learn to go with the flow. You can't force things that are not there. You can't force things that are not meant for you. If it's not meant for you, it's not going to work. You're going to make yourself miserable. You're going to make other people miserable. You're going to be forever in this cycle of chaos. You're going to be forever miserable. I don't care what that will make your loneliness worse. You put in things, you trying to force things that are not for you. It's going to make it worse. It's not going to fill the void. There's nobody or nothing that can fill your emptiness. And you need to know that. There are some battles that you're going to go through that can't nobody go through it with you. You have to go through this alone. And it's not up to other people to always be there for you. Sometimes people have to be there for themselves. They can't always be about you. People have goals and things that they're trying to accomplish in life that they're dealing with as well. It's not always about you. But you can make your world about you when you start putting yourself first. When you start doing what you need to do for you. When you start occupying your time. Hell, go to a paint party. You may not know anybody, but just go to one that's open. Go to a networking event, or just an event in general. Any kind of girls' night or a guy's night, or, you know, you won't find people who fit into your world by just sitting on the couch in your misery, by just sitting in your house in these thoughts. And I've even had to, I'm breaking the habit, like I've had to get outside of the house, get into some sunlight, get into some conversations with people. Because one thing I've learned about most adults, y'all don't know how to talk to people. I'm just saying, like, y'all be saying some crazy stuff, some just off the wall, sometimes disrespectful, and you don't even know that you're doing it, but you haven't had that variety in your life. You haven't hung around people who don't look like you. You haven't hung around people who weren't raised like you. You haven't hung around people who don't do the same thing that you do or view life the same way that you view it. You've been closed in. You've been sheltered. You've been brainwashed. You have been, I don't know. But you just, you haven't seen things outside of your comfort zone. You haven't been forced to get outside of your comfort zone. And that's why I can talk like this. Because since I was yay high, all the way down now, have been forced out of my comfort zone. I rode the transfer bus. So I've engaged with people in the hood, people in the middle class, and the uppity people. I've had to be, I didn't go to HBCU. I went to elementary school and high school and stuff with those people. But I went to a private college. So my whole experience was totally different. It was totally different. And I went to school with people up north. They don't think like us. Even their conversations is different. It was easier for me to get a job up there. I'm just saying. The culture was different. It was just different. Yeah. You have to recognize what it is. You cannot allow your loneliness to cloud your judgment, to cloud your mind, and put you in some stuff that you wasn't ready for, and put you into some stuff that you can't come back from so easily. Because, oh, I'm lonely. I don't have anybody. So I'm just going to hop on the first thing walking. I'm just going to hop on the first person who will love me. I'm going to hop on the first person who will give me attention. The first person who, even if they don't have great intentions, but they make me feel good. It's time for that to stop. Especially the older you get. All right, maybe in your 20s you can afford to play those reindeer games. But 30, 40, 50, we pushing it on and on and on. So you kind of know. You're getting too old for certain things. Your back start cracking. And you have to raise kids and all kinds of stuff. It's just, and then bills itself. It's just too much on top of the right things. Some things that are optional that you are making a priority. So, I think that concludes because I got to get going. So, and I'm tired of people looking at me crazy. So, I don't know who this message for. But I pray that you listen and take the the necessary steps to love on yourself. Even if that means going to walk. One of my favorite things that I used to love to do is I used to love to give myself pedicures, manicures. And even now with me being married, I still go have lunch by myself. I still go do things by myself because sometimes I just need the Spirit to speak to me and to just be in my zone. And then when I come back to other people, I'm able to think clearly. I'm able to function better. I'm able to give answers that aren't so crazy. You know, I took that time for self-care. And a lot of people aren't taught that. They're taught to be around people, hang around people, be there for other people. We're not taught to be there for ourselves. And that's not to say I'm not encouraging anybody to be selfish at all. I'm not. But at some point you have to pause and you have to think about what you're doing, what you're saying, and if you are being toxic to yourself.